Bro, bro. You ever just wake up and before you even fully open your eyes, your hand is already reaching for your phone? Like, you didn't even decide to do that. Your body just did it. Muscle memory at this point. And then you scroll for like way too long. Then you get up. Maybe brush your teeth, coffee or whatever. Do the work thing. Come home. Couch. More scrolling. Sleep. And then, no cap, you do the exact same thing tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after that. And then randomly, like 3 months later, you're laying in bed at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling like, wait, what am I doing with my life? When did I agree to this? That, my guy, is the loop. The loop you didn't choose. The loop that just kinda happened to you while you weren't paying attention. And today, we're gonna talk about it. No productivity tips, no fix your life nonsense. Just me and you, chopping it up about why we all feel like NPCs sometimes. Let's get into it. Okay, so, first thing first. The loop doesn't come with a warning. There's no notification that pops up like, yo, heads up, you're about to enter a repetitive cycle that'll consume the next 2 years of your life. Slide to accept. Nah, it's way more low-key than that. It starts with small stuff. Tiny things you don't even clock as decisions. Like, at some point, you stopped cooking and started ordering the same Uber Eats from the same 3 places. At some point, I'll go out next weekend became your permanent response. At some point, your whole day became this copy-paste situation and you didn't even notice it happening. And that's low-key the scariest part, no? Like, you can't even point to a moment where you were like, yeah, this is the life I want. You just woke up already in it, already doing it, already stuck. It's giving autopilot. It's giving sleepwalking through your own existence. And the wild part is, everyone around you is doing the same thing, so it feels normal. But bro, just because it's common doesn't mean it's supposed to be your whole life. You feel me? And here's where it gets even more cooked. When you've been looping long enough, your brain stops showing you the exits. Like, imagine you're in a room, and this room has mad doors, tons of options, places you could go, things you could try, people you could reach out to. But you've been walking in circles for so long that your brain just stops registering the doors. They're literally right there, but you can't see them anymore. That's the loop doing its thing, bro. It makes you forget that alternatives exist. You forget you could just text that friend you haven't talked to in months. You forget you could go somewhere random on your day off instead of rotting in bed. You forget you could switch things up just to see what happens. Not even for some deep reason, just for the plot. But nah, the loop has you thinking this is it. This is your lane. This is just who you are now. The homie who stays in. The homie who maybe next time's everything. The homie who's low-key just existing, not really living. And here's the thing that's actually kind of wild. Your brain prefers it this way. Dead ass. Because the loop is safe. It's familiar. There's zero risk in doing what you already did yesterday. Your brain is literally like, bestie, we survived doing this exact thing before. Why change? New stuff is scary. Let's not. And in a way, that's your brain trying to protect you. But protection and actually living? Those are not the same thing, bro. Not even close. Which brings me to the part that genuinely keeps me up at night sometimes. Bro, you ever have that moment where you're like, hold up, it's already September? Wasn't it just February? What happened to the middle part? People always say time moves faster when you get older. And yeah, maybe. But I think there's something else going on. I think time starts glitching when every day feels the same. Because here's the thing. Your brain doesn't just record everything like a camera. It highlights stuff. It saves the moments that feel new, surprising, emotional, different. First times, plot twists, main character moments. But if nothing's new, If every day is just a remix of the one before, there's nothing to save. So your brain just compresses it. Whole weeks become a blur. Months feel like they lasted 5 minutes. And suddenly you're looking back like, what did I even do this year? And you genuinely can't answer. And it's not like you were doing nothing. You were busy. You were moving. You were technically alive. But you weren't really there, you know? You were in the room, but the lights were off. It's like when you're on your phone scrolling for an hour, then you put it down and you're like, I literally cannot tell you a single thing I just saw. That's the loop, bro. Just expanded to your whole life. And that thought? That thought is unhinged levels of unsettling if you really sit with it. Okay, but before this gets too dark, let me balance it out real quick. I'm not going to sit here and act like every routine is evil. That would be chronically online behavior, and we're not doing that today. Because real talk, some loops are actually good. Some loops are carrying your life. Like, maybe you got a gym routine that's been consistent. Maybe you call your mom every Sunday. Maybe you got a creative thing you do regularly. Drawing, making beats, whatever. Those are loops too. But they hit different because you chose them. They're intentional. They're serving you. The loops we're talking about today, the ones you didn't choose, those are different energy entirely. They're not adding to your life. They're just happening to you. You didn't design them. They designed themselves while you weren't looking. And there's a massive difference between, I built this routine because it supports the life I want, and I woke up one day and realized I've been running the same empty program for 8 months straight and I don't even know why. So it's not about destroying all structure. It's about noticing which loops are running you versus which ones you're running. And that noticing part? That's honestly the whole game. But here's the part nobody warns you about. Becoming aware of the loop doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like getting jump-scared by your own life. Because once you see it, once you really clock how long you've been on autopilot, it hits different. You start thinking about all the time that just slipped by, all the things you could have done, all the versions of you that might have existed if you'd snapped out of it earlier. And that awareness is heavy. It's uncomfortable. It sits in your chest in a weird way. And low-key, I think that's why so many people stay in the loop even after they notice it. Because sitting with that truth is harder than just going back to autopilot. It's easier to say, I'll figure it out later. I'll make moves next month, once things settle down. But things never settle down. Next month becomes next year, and later is just a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of now. I'm not saying this to be depressing. I'm saying it because it's real. The loop isn't just a habit thing. It's an awareness thing. And awareness doesn't come free. It asks something from you. It wants you to actually look. And looking is hard. So where does this leave us? Honestly, I don't have answers. That was never the vibe. But here's what I know for sure. The loop is real. It sneaks in through tiny defaults you didn't even notice you were setting. It makes you forget that other doors exist. It glitches your sense of time until whole seasons feel like nothing. And becoming aware of it, actually sitting with the fact that you've been moving on autopilot, doesn't feel good. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the loop doesn't break because of some big, dramatic decision. Maybe it just cracks a little every time you notice. Every time you pause and ask yourself, is this actually what I want? Or is this just what I've been doing? I think about this stuff a lot. Probably too much. But it feels important. Because this is the only life. And it'd be kind of insane to just let it run on autopilot forever. So yeah, the loop you didn't choose. It's real. It's sneaky. And now, maybe, it's a little more visible. Honestly, that might be enough for today. And yo, if you don't want to sleepwalk through the algorithm alone, you already know where the button is. I'm just out here trying to make sense of the loop with you. No guru energy, no fake answers, just noticing things out loud. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Stay locked in. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Peace.